Do you know why clocks reckon time clockwise? The reason is simple and complicated at the same time. On the equator, the sun rises due east and sets due west every day of the year. And it is the only place on Earth where that happens. All right? And so the sun goes high overhead, giving literal meaning to high noon. And then as you hike north, the arc the sun takes in the sky goes farther and farther south. It no longer goes directly overhead. It's just that the arc going from east to west just sits lower and lower in the sky.
Okay.
Until you hit the Arctic Circle, where the sun is it's practically horizontal to the horizon as it goes all the way around. But we're here in New York City. We're middle latitude, so the sun's path through the sky is sort of in between somewhere. Okay. That means it's basically almost always south of you. Just think about that. If on the equator it's to your left and above your head and to the right, as you walk north, the sun's arc dips behind you, and behind you is south.
Okay.
Okay? It's south. So here's the point. In the Northern Hemisphere, if you were ever facing the sun, you will never be facing north. Where does the moss grow on the tree? On the north side of the tree. Right? The sun never hits that side of these objects in the Northern Hemisphere.
Wow.
Okay? In the Southern Hemisphere, it's the opposite, and they would grow moss on their southern side. Okay? Because the sun would always then be north of where they are. And it's fun when I visit the Southern Hemisphere, I'm always just rethinking all of this. It's just a fun thing to reconstruct the geometry of Earth in space relative to the sun. All right.
Okay.
So, civilization as we know it began in the Northern Hemisphere. What was one of the first timekeeping devices people used? Sundial. So, a sundial has all the hours of the day on a flat surface, and there's a thing sticking up that actually has an official word. I would just call it a stick, but the official word is gnomon. So, the gnomon, when illuminated by the sun, cast a shadow on these numbers, and you calibrate this depending on what latitude you're in on Earth's surface. You need a different sundial if you're at a different latitude. Each sundial only works for one latitude. Okay? So, picture this. Okay? I got my sundial, and I got my gnomon, and the sun rises in the east. Okay? And as the sun rises up, the gnomon casts a shadow on these hours that are carved into the brass plate.
Right.
And we can ask, what direction does the gnomon shadow move? Gnomon shadow moves clockwise.